This is a vibe right here. I like this one.
Kato, you way too dope, kid. This is an MB13 production.
Life is something like a vapor.
Here today, gone tomorrow.
Life,
Yeah, I know the words too.
life is something like a vapor. Here today, gone tomorrow. Life is something like a vapor. Here today, gone tomorrow. Life is something like a vapor. Here today, gone tomorrow. Last night I had an interview talking with my creator. We were so high up, elevated like elevators. We were sitting upon the clouds, and it wasn't nothing more safer. Then we descended down slow, like riding on escalators. When he told me, son, this life is like a vapor. The rain will dry up sooner rather than later. Why don't you understand and comprehend the least, the greatest? The crown I'm offering, nobody ever can take it. I was told nothing free up in this life. Coming from the ghetto all my life, I had to fight. What I'm supposed to do when they plotting
For
on
my jewels.
I work so hard to get it, to give it up, I refuse.
Y'all talking right here, y'all.
What's all your treasures in earthly places? What these can break in and one day take it, yeah. It's such a shame, material things you be chasing will find a new replacement, yeah. Life is something like a vapor.
Here today, gone tomorrow. Hey, that's a vibe right there. I like that, and I'm not even lying.
Thank you,
Welcome
man.
to the Marc Ben Podcast. We on episode number 7. I got a very special guest. I met him off IG. Thank God he checked his messages, you know. And he got back to
Thank you,
me,
Lord.
and I kid you not, I sent him the message. It was a long, little, lengthy message, and his response, and I kid you not, and I probably put it in the video, was, any help or service I can provide to promote Christ, I don't mind, brother. That's a real one right there.
Amen.
Because I reached out to many Christians, many of them. I can't do it. Nope. But his first message was, any help or service I can provide to promote Christ,
And
I don't
I'm
mind,
here.
brother. And he's here.
making myself
On time,
available.
too. So, hey, Gaines, man. Gaines.
Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
Yes, sir. So, should I call you Gaines music?
Nah, Gaines is good.
Gaines is good.
That's
All
actually
right.
my last name. Something that I go by, as far as in the Bible verse says, to live is Christ and to die is gain.
Mhm.
So I always remind myself, calling myself by my last name, sacrificing my time and sacrificing doing this and that is more of a gain to me. So this game right here,
This game right here, for
Yeah.
sure, man. And speaking of gain, man, I know we probably all put on some pounds for Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was good. The boy ate. You know what I mean? He had that mac and cheese. I was all good. Shoot, as long as the mac and cheese, all right, I'm good.
That's what's up,
I'm not
man.
too much of a turkey man.
Nah.
But if it's deep fried,
Deep fried.
then I get it. But I haven't ran into nobody who just threw that thing in the deep fry like, bah, and it just came out immaculate. But my mom, she was here. She makes some real good turkey. Really good. She don't even use salt. I don't know how she even... I don't know. That's another story. I don't know how she cook and made it good as what she do, but it's crazy, man.
Crazy. I've never had deep fried turkey.
It's good.
It's good, yeah.
Mhm,
I heard it
it's
was
good.
kind of dangerous to cook, like the grease and, you could burn up your place. Nah,
To tell you the truth, I would never do it. I don't know how they do it, but, if they got an immaculate kitchen, hey, let them do their thing,
Right on. And Christmas is around the corner.
Yes,
What's
it
your
is.
plans for Christmas?
Empty my pockets and get my kids everything that they want and desire.
Yeah.
Gifts for me, I don't really expect it. Sometimes, people give me things. I'm very grateful and appreciative, but as long as my kids happy and they get whatever that they get, and I can just provide for them the type of Christmas that I had growing up, which was great. All my Christmases, they was great. Even if me and my brother, we had, to share a Super Nintendo, it was great. You know what I mean? So
Nice.
I want to do the same thing.
Yeah, same here, man. I'm empty out the bank account. Gifts and gifts and more gifts. But, it's good to give than to receive, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
but they got places like Ross, treat yourself to a little $5 shirt or something, you know what I mean?
True.
Shoot.
Or Amazon,
There we go.
Even cheaper. Nice. So Like a Vapor, man. I like that song. We had to plan an intro. Like, what made you write that?
Primarily because I work at a hospital, so I try not to become, how would I say, used to death, because you can have people that's dying from all type of illnesses. You got the COVID. You got people that's dying from cancer. Stage 4. You got you have people that die from gunshot wounds. Stab victims. It's coming in like rapidly.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I can see and look at the faces of other individuals, and sometimes it's like they're not to me, it don't look like they're in touch with their feelings of understanding this person just lost their life. And it's like with me, I'm like, dang, they lost their life. And at that, it's like it's the end. It's either heaven or hell.
Yeah.
And that's eternal.
Yeah.
So when I look at that, and then I get to look at these family members and their faces and stuff like that. And I kind of is at home with me because my mom passed, it happened in front of me. And so it's like, that's someone who I thought I was going to have forever. So it's like, when I think about that, life is like a vapor. Here today, gone tomorrow. So it's like, just like a drop of water that can fall on this table right now. Eventually that drop of water is not going to be there. You know what I mean? So it's like, our life is like that.
Yeah.
We hear, we laughing one day, this and that, and it's like when that person gone, you just sit there and be like, wow, they really gone.
Wow.
And it's like, my mom been going, 6 years now? I think it took me probably like those first 4 or 5 years to actually digest it and believe that she's gone. I had to readjust my mindset to be like, well, she's in a better place. She's healthy. She doesn't have to suffer. And that's basically like why I wrote the song, because that's the way that, God put it on my heart, so that when other people, they get to listen to it, it got a cool beat, cool flow and everything like that, but when other people listen to it, I want them to understand that life is not promised to nobody. You may be born and get to put all these years on. That's by the grace of God. Some people die at 1 year old. Some people die at birth. So it's not promised for all of us to have 100 years of life, but thank God we have the years that we have,
That is true. And so sorry to hear about your mom, were you working in the hospital before her passing, or?
No, I was actually working in the hospital.
You was working?
Yeah. So that was one of those eye-opening moments for me that, wow, my mom is in the same position as, these other patients were in.
Yeah.
And I had to see that and just what I was saying, like those family members, I may have not been in touch with 100% how they feel, but now I can empathize with how they feel because I was in that situation too. And, you try to put your hope in what man can do, the doctors and what they believe and what they say. And you're like, ooh, it's hope, and I hope cling to that, but unfortunately, like this is life and death is an appointment that we're all going to have one day. And, and we all got an appointed time. We all got an expiration date, no matter how we want to look at it, no matter how we want to overlook it, but it's bound to happen,
It is. So I know a lot of people are scared of death. Are you scared of death? Am
I scared of death? I used to be. I'm not going to lie. I used to be, but it's like, I don't think it's something that I just ponder on every day. Oh, today's going to be the day I die. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think about it like that, but it's like, it can bring a sense of fear because you don't want to, because there's certain things that you want to achieve, certain things you want to live out, certain time you want to be here, certain appointments you want to make it to, certain things you want to do, So it's like, but for those are like little reasons to me. But as far as like that, like, no fear. Because I understand where I'm going when it's my time,
Yeah, I used to fear death, but I know where I'm going.
Yeah,
I gave my life to Christ. I'm good. So whatever happens, I know where I end up.
That's true. That's true.
Just like your song say, here today, gone tomorrow. Hey, it is what it is. Can't stop that. Can't stop that.
That's like a man having, thousands of dollars saved up and then he loses his job.
Yeah.
He got hope. Hey, it is what it is. I got this until I find something else. You know, but for that man who doesn't have anything stored up, he's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So that's how his hope is. So it's like, because we know exactly where we going, you know, it's like, okay. I'm good. I can live with that. Yeah. But like to not know where you're going and you on that deathbed and you got to face that. And some people in that instant moment of when it happened to them, maybe nobody around, no family member they can say goodbye to when it's time for them to, you know, and that fear is they got to share in that fear all by themselves, you know? So, yeah. But we're going to deal with that.
So with writing songs, do you do it the old fashioned way with the pen and paper or you on your phone with it?
Cause I'm always on the go. I'm on the phone with it. I'm not gonna lie, I be on the phone with it. You know, I'm on the phone with it mostly. I always say to myself, I always want to retract back like to the old style, the old way, but with moving and with having kids and they want to write and everything, and you know, so they kind of leave the phone alone, but not really. But I know with a pen and pad, they've been destroyed that. Well, not destroyed. They've been created their own art inside of it. You know. Yeah.
I do the same thing. I probably I'm on the phone, or I'm on the computer at work, so I'm with it. You know, I got two monitors at work, so I'm probably working here and probably typing over here.
That's good.
Now, if I have nothing around, my phone about to go dead, and I got some thoughts, I got like 4 bars, like then I'll probably grab a napkin.
Because you know, like nowadays, it's like technology is so relevant.
Yeah,
and it's just always something that you know. Unfortunately, no matter how we want to look at it, but it's part of our lives now, and it's something that we cling to first, you know. So when I got an idea, and then you know sometimes I write something on the paper, but then what I wrote on the paper, I'll go right back, and then I jot it back in there, you know. So
okay. So based off your Instagram name, Gaines Music, right? So you're just an artist. You're a rapper, or you're a producer as well. You create beats.
More so artist. More so artist. Yeah. But my engineer, his name is Kai Genius.
Okay.
Yeah. And well, he's really my best friend too. So he mostly like do the producing and all that stuff. And sometimes, you know, other producers reach out to me too, and I try to collaborate with them as well as much as I can, you know.
So your producer, you got a producer, which is your best friend. You know, so he creates the beats as well too? Or
he created a lot of beats that I utilize as well. And some of the other beats are beats that I probably like listen to that I heard, and because of the emotion or the feeling that certain beat gave me from a certain other producer, I utilize that. Like, you know, sometimes we'll want to create that feeling all over again, making our own beat, but sometimes it's just like, that beat is like, it got me in ready mode. So I just like, I gotta do it on this beat, you know?
Okay. All right. And when did you start like writing? Like,
when did I start writing?
Like the age you can remember?
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm 33 now. You know, a lot of people, they don't, you know, believe that. You know, I got to take our idea a lot of places
I ain't gonna lie, because I never asked your age, but I kind of put you into 26. Yeah, like 26, 27. But okay, 33.
Appreciate it. Got good Levi jeans, you know.
Jeans.
But yeah, I think I was writing since I was like 13, you know, so, you know, y'all do the math. I wasn't really too much good at math, but y'all could do the math, you know.
Okay. 20 years.
Hey.
20 years.
20 years. You heard what the man said. He the scholar.
Nah. Well, yeah, same here, man. I've been writing since I was like 12, 13. I'm 30. I'll be 36 in next month.
The good
December.
For your age, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. And yeah, man. So decent, bro. All right. And so I did see in one of your IG videos, you was doing like the, you know, like the little, I don't know the genre of that dance. Like what like what genre is that called? Or is that like street dancing or like?
Yeah, basically street dance. You just going off of the top of your head. Like, you know, and I'm just going with the flow, you know, because back when I was in high school, ironically, like I used to dance when I was in high school. I was doing music, and also too I used to dance too. So
was it like in high school? Was it I forget what you call it, the you know, the
it was mainly like they had like a lot of events. And I used to like choreograph like with me and a couple of my homies. Like I used to choreograph with them.
Gotcha.
Like it was funny how I started out when I because I wasn't the best student when I was in school, I should say. I wasn't the best student.
Yeah,
you know?
Me too.
And like the first school I was going to Miami Northwestern. Ended up getting kicked out of there, skipping class, doing all type of stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And then so they sent the transfer notice to my mom's house saying these little schools that I got to go to. And so I ended up going to Miami Beach Senior High School. So I was there, met a couple of people and stuff like that. I seen they had a show one time. I seen them dance. I was like, oh, that look cool. I was like, sure, I'll do that at home, man. I can do better than that. You know what I mean? So it's like opportunity and time rose. I just asked this dude that I had met, hey, you mind if I, and he let me in there. Ever since that, like every show they was having, they was like, oh, you gonna dance? You gonna dance? You gonna dance? I'm like, I might do a little something. So it's like the more shows that I did, the more people wanted to come. And like the gymnasium, everything, like the pet rallies was getting packed and packed. And they were like, oh, you better be doing a dance. You better, everybody was just like so excited about it, And I was like, ooh. Like, maybe I could do something with this,
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, dance is not one of the things that I ever took. I never took serious to be like, wow, this can pave, a path for me, or this can, open this door of opportunity for me. I never really looked at it like that, but it's something that, that I still keep with me, that I keep at home with me, because my mom, she used to always, oh, why you not doing shit? Everywhere I go ahead, do a dance for the people. I'm like, oh, man, you embarrassing me. She probably did. When it came to my art and it came to dance, she'd tell everybody. But when it come to me rapping, she wasn't too much into rap. She was like, that rapping stuff, So, yeah.
Correct. And back to the rapping. So, I'm pretty sure you did a lot of music, created a lot of music. Professional studio, you've been in one, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Versus a home studio, which one would you choose?
Home studio.
Home studio?
Yeah.
Same here.
Only reason home studio, because you get to be yourself. And like I said, I got my own producer, Kai Jeans, and we like to clown a lot. And sometimes we like to switch the subject away from the music, and we like just talk about real life, talk about relationships. We talk about, kids. We talk about, owning things. Like we talk about, we could talk about stock market. We could talk about football, sports. We just get a floor for any and everything. And sometimes, we could be dealing with certain things within our week, and we just utilize that time that we can be able to vent. You just get to throw up on each other. This is what I'm going through, man. So that, because sometimes, we don't have the words of inspiration to look at ourselves in the mirror and tell ourselves these things that's going to motivate us in order to encourage us through the week. And sometimes, our best friend, partner friend, or sometimes God can use a random person out of nowhere that can utilize the words that can get you through the week and motivate you and encourage you to, get that little extra strength that you needed to get by, because sometimes mentally, which, a lot of people talk about mental health nowadays, like, sometimes mentally, like we not, as stable, as strong as we want to be. And, we could walk around with a smile on our face and say that, people ask you how you doing, you just say I'm fine. Because you don't want to open up, to people and stuff like that. And sometimes we have a fear of opening up to people because we're scared how they may interpret the way that we feel. Or interpret, how we said a thing or whatever. Because sometimes people be like, oh, you're going to be all right. They can just say little stuff like that. Because you're going to be all right. Don't worry about it. You're you. You smile. You're this, you're that. But, sometimes people can be dealing with, suicidal thoughts, all type of stuff, So that's the world we live in,
Yeah, true. So I probably was in a professional studio once. And I could have had way more opportunities to do it. Didn't like it at all. It was just, and this was when I was in the world, I would go in, just a bunch of dudes there. The beat bumping. I'm just like, I'm trying to write and it just distracted. I'm just like, bro,
a whole lot going on.
I'm just like, man, let me just grab my own stuff, bro.
With me, I don't care how that, I'm not gonna lie, I don't care how the atmosphere is. Somebody could be doing them. And then, I know how to do me in the midst of all it, but like you just said, I don't know, just at home, it's just better.
Yeah.
Go to the bathroom when you feel like it.
For sure.
Get something to drink when you feel like it,
And what DAW or digital audio workstation your producer uses, I guess, to record?
Basically we use Pro Tools.
Pro Tools?
Yeah.
The industry standard. Okay.
Yeah. We used to use other ones. Like I'm not gonna lie. When I first started, I used to use Magics.
Man, I've heard of Magics. Yeah, I've heard of
that's
Magics.
like way back when I first started. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. You know, what is Fruity Loops?
Fruity Loops. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. It was like that. The back in the day standards. But a lot of people, surprisingly, they still using Fruity Loops like to make beats and record at the same time, you know. So
I only used it to make beats. Recording, I just found it.
Yeah, it's kind of different.
Yeah,
I use the word different. I don't want to offend nobody who utilizes that. But
that's true.
To the T, they make it sound good. Thank God for them. And if I'm in the studio with you, and if you need me to go and use Fruity Loops, do your thing. I don't know what you did, as long as it sound good.
I'll say it. People that use Fruity Loops to record, you got to step it up. I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, that's what's up.
Yo, Pro Tools, that's the standard.
Pro Tools, I used to use Adobe Audition before I started using Pro Tools. I use Pro Tools currently. I love Pro Tools.
Yeah.
Pro Tools is the truth. Yes, sir. And so I'm assuming you've performed in front of a crowd.
Oh, of course, plenty of times.
If you had to guess, how many people, what was the max amount of people that you performed in front of, if you had to guess?
The biggest crowd I ever performed?
Yeah.
I would say probably like 500-600, like performed in front of a big crowd. It probably was more than that. I forgot the name of this theater, but it was a theater that I performed at. I think it was in downtown Miami somewhere. I can't even remember the name of it, but it was a certain event there. And it was good. I mean, the news is there, everything, lights, camera action, It was real big. It was dope. It was good.
Nice, man. So your music currently that you're creating now, what message are you pushing through your music now?
Basically a message of hope. Basically a message of change. Basically a message of fixating your mind on reality of, because I feel like nowadays a lot of people, they reject morals for having the spotlight or trying to be famous or trying to be something that they're not. Because I grew up in a tough area, Liberty City, in Miami. I grew up in Lincoln Fair Projects. I had Scott Projects right nearby, and then also too Pork and Bean Projects, and Overtown, a lot of those areas, my families are from, stuff like that. And we grew up, over there, and it wasn't the easiest, Basically, living what we was living, you was supposed to be a statistic, so to speak. You wasn't supposed to finish school. You wasn't supposed to, get into sports. You wasn't supposed to live this long. You was supposed to be dead. You supposed to be an obituary next week, So that was the status quo. Growing up inside of the neighborhood that I grew up in. So it's like when I think about those things and all the friends that I lost at very, very young ages, like 14, 15, 13, someone may even get to see 21, and just seeing those things, I take into account sort of almost like how the music I grew up off is like Bone Thugs and Harmony and Tupac and stuff like that. And they talked about, they had they hood stuff they talk about, but at the same time, I grew up on rap where they fixate a lot on reality and the things that's going up. Like you hear Bone Thugs say something like, babies having babies, Generation X. And you'll look at now, it's a lot of youthful mothers. Yeah. And that's raising these kids and, and they got the Jordans on with their kids, the diamond bracelet, necklace and all this stuff. And then they got these, kids that's out there running wild. And it's like, I get to see these kids lose their life and then their mom sitting there crying and this and that, but you know what he was doing? He had like a record on him that was longer than the Walmart receipt, and just like me, I got two brothers and both of my brothers right now locked up, so one, my older brother and my younger brother right behind me. And it's like just seeing that life. Because my mom, she ain't raised us like that. She raised us better. Did we all do wrong? Yeah, we all did. We all did wrong. We all did things that we wasn't supposed to do. And I did things that, thank God, I ain't get caught for and I ain't get locked up for. And the 2 times I did get caught, the police let me go. They called my mom. I was like, man, shoot, man, send me to jail, man. Forget that, man. Nah, man, don't call her. But they called her, and worst whoopings of my life.
Yeah.
those two occasions, those two moments. But yeah, man, just a lot of stuff that my mom, that she like poured inside of me. And a lot of times I wasn't listening. And a lot of times friends that I grew up with was listening to her more than I was. Mm-hmm. And so those morals and those faith-based things, like those principles and stuff like that, like she was pouring those things into me. So like later when I gave my life to Christ, it's like a lot of those things that she said started to come back to my remembrance. And I'm like, oh, this is what she meant. Oh,
yeah, this
is what she meant. So it's like, now it being able to, like, first when I used to do music for the world, I used to do it for the wrong reasons and stuff like that, but now when I start like, doing it for the right reasons, I recall and I remember saying, you should do some Christian music. You should do some music that talk about hope, talk about change. You see all these kids doing bad and doing this and that, and your friends doing this and that, you doing this and that. Why y'all don't give some people some hope and that? Like, man, you tripping, man. That ain't the way. Come on. This make money. This makes sense. Mm-hmm. And I remember I said that to her, this makes sense. She said, no, it doesn't. She said, you need to make music that makes sense. Not sense. You don't need to worry about making music that make money, because there'll always be, things that you can do. There'll always be money around. Money will always be there.
Yeah.
But the fact that you made your print in life, understanding that you're going to have kids one day and you're not going to want your kids to do these, certain negative things. So it's like, why don't you, be that sort of Martin Luther King? Why don't you be that, that person that teaches people good standards and good morals and stuff like that? Because, and God tell us that, because when they lack, knowledge in a certain area, they perish. So it's like, because when we growing up, because of the fact that we don't know, or we ignorant towards something because we don't know, that's why, we fall to being a statistic, like what I was saying. So that's basically like my music is for. Like, I'm tired of seeing my people, become statistics. I'm tired of seeing my people, not knowing, reality, like, so to speak, just as far as like, man, look, man, you in this life to make a statement. You in this life to make a purpose, and like for positive, for change. You're not in this life just to get likes or to get comments or to get people to like you, and nowadays we have a lot of that, like people looking for people to like them, to fit in, so to speak. And sadly, like my mentality, my music and everything, it's not about if you're the type of person trying to fit in. It's actually reaching out to the person who is a loner, that person who's not understood, that person who's, who's basically who don't feel like nobody get them, So so that's basically like what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm big on purpose, because I've been to jail. I've been on that road, and probably my scariest charge was aggravated assault with a firearm. Actually beat it in court, but didn't think I was going to beat it. Lost hope. Yeah. Slid down to the keys, doing some things down there, and ran into some beefs and all of that. But thank God for having mercy and grace over my life. And I fell off of my purpose back then. And I had an opportunity, just like you said earlier. There are some people that they don't get that second, third, fourth chance. That's true. They gone 15 years old. They gone 20 years old. They're gone, And thank God I've been through some things, but it's like purpose to me. And I seen you say that in one of your IG videos. Purpose is so big, because if you're not doing your purpose, I see a lot of bitter people that's doing jobs now. Yeah. That's not their purpose, and they're just doing it for a paycheck. That I was looking at the time like, oh man, I got 3 more hours to go. I got 1 more hour to go. A purpose is like a baker that just likes to bake cakes, right? Yeah. And they make cakes for a living. They're not worried about the time. If they got to spend 13 hours on one cake, they would. They're worried about the quality. Yeah. They're worried about this is going to be great. And that's purpose, Yeah. And I feel just a lot of people not doing their purpose. Yeah. You be looking at it like, well, dang, where the time go? Right. Like when you in your purpose, or so to speak, like how people like to say, when you in your element. Yeah. Oh man. Listen, 24 hours could have passed. Dang, I could have sworn it was 30 minutes. For real. And I just see a lot of bitterness and just a lot of people get depressed, especially around holidays. They don't have enough money to buy gifts.
Yeah.
Not really in their purpose, and it's just it's a big struggle. So I know I'm definitely like big on purpose.
That's what's up, man.
Yes, sir. Do you think fear hides purpose?
I agree.
Yeah,
I think fear does, because when people operate in fear, it can hide you from a lot of things that you deserve.
Yeah.
I believe that if you operate in fear, it can hide you from exactly the person who you really supposed to be. It can hide you from even taking advantage of the opportunities that's, before you. It can even hide you from the just understanding the representation of what love looks like for you and for how you supposed to treat people. Like fear, I believe fear can hide a lot of things. Cause I forgot like the word, like as far as like, you get like people that like to say, I'm an introvert or, I'm extrovert or whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody has the ability to be an introvert or extrovert depending on the atmosphere that they walk into.
Yeah.
You have certain people that can walk into a room and they can command the room. You have certain people that can walk in the room and then, they just quiet. They're just saying what's going on. But just because they quiet, it doesn't mean that they don't know what's going on. Because, even God said that, a fool, he could be quiet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can walk in the room, he can be quiet.
Yeah.
And then everybody think he's the smartest person in the room. Basically, I'm just like paraphrasing the verse. But, so it's like when people are walking around and they operating in fear and stuff like that, like if you operating in fear and then your purpose is to help people, how are you going to help people? How are you going to interact with people if you're not putting yourself around people?
Yeah.
So because of that fear, you'll choose to, let me stay inside today. And then even too, some people, they can stay inside because they have and even through social media, you can help people. You could be the type of person, you can see somebody going through what's wrong with a comment? A comment or hitting them up in Messenger or that stuff don't hurt nobody. It's why read it and that this person is going through there, but you call yourself, I'm the most helpful person that you can run into. Yeah. I'm one of the most caring people. I vented about something on Facebook. I didn't see Johnny, Sue, or Sally. I didn't see you message. I didn't see you say any words of hope, towards me, And remember I was saying like, retract back to what we were saying. A lot of people dealing with like suicide and stuff like that. And sometimes a word can help them out. Like there was a young lady, I made a video. There was a young lady that reached out to me on TikTok and she was going through a lot of things. And she said, wow, I just really thank God for you. And basically she was thinking about ending, Well, she was at that road. She was at that dead end, so to speak. She wanted to just turn it all over. She just wanted to throw the towel in on life. And I was like, wow, man, it's crazy because I know I was at that point in my life before. Yeah. And so just like now overcoming fear and, well, not just now, but I'm just saying like overcoming fear and help me to walk in my purpose and help me to walk in that divine purpose that God set out for me, being the person who he want me to be, acting, and being the person that he wants me to be through the ups and the downs, because a lot of people look at it like, I got this negative experience going on in my life. I don't think I'm operating in purpose. I think that when you look at a lot of people in the Bible, they had negative experiences. Yeah. Like if you take King David, for example, he had points in his life where it looked like he was losing. When King Saul was coming after him and, and also to his own son turned against him. Like he's about to lose that too, So a lot of times where it looked like we're about to lose out, God is using it for our advantage.
Yeah.
And if you operating in fear, sometimes you can't see it. But sometimes even when you're operating out of fear, God can bring you up out of that. All you got to do is ask him.
Yeah.
Especially if you are a man or woman after God's own heart. I think God has this funny way of doing it. I forget what it was. It was one of the prophets where he destroyed all these false prophets who was, preaching the wrong thing, exemplifying like the wrong thing. And, they challenge God, like, oh man, we'll do this and that, man. Show us your God. And, and then this certain prophet, he was like, yeah, go ahead, do y'all little thing, call out to y'all God that was cutting themselves and this and that, calling they false God. They false God never came. So then when this man of God, when he called out, listen, God came down and showed himself on his behalf. And then also, too, what they was calling out for their God to do, God did that too before them.
Mm-hmm.
Destroyed all of them. And then the next thing you know, this same prophet went into hiding because he heard that this certain woman wanted to take his life. He was scared. You done destroyed all your enemies that done came before you. God done showed up on your behalf. Big time. And the next thing you know, you run into the mountains.
Yeah.
And then God had to shake the mountains like an earthquake, in order to get, I was like, I was tripping. I forgot you, God. And sometimes we can get into the moments where we forget how big our God is, how great our God is. And just, because listen, we'll let I-95 traffic distract us from who God is. Yeah. To be honest, tell you the truth, so.
Cut me off.
Exactly. Somebody cut you off immediately, man. God, why you, man, who is God? We start getting in that frame of mind. I don't even know no more. Yeah. But we always got to keep in that frame of mind of who he is through ups and downs. And even as Christians or whatever, even though I don't live my life by fear still has its way of creeping up into my life in certain decisions that I make or want to make, or certain things that I do, and emotions. Emotions are very real. People don't tell you that, but emotions are very real. So because emotions are real, fear can, sneak up a little bit and portray certain things to you. Like those, like the little devil names, like how they have one. It can speak to you in that frame of mind, and you can, depending on how you feel and depending if you're not as prayerful, you can subject yourself to that. You know what I mean? But man, it's real. I believe that though.
I want to definitely go back to what you were saying about like tribulations when people go through things. I take it as the things you go through, thank God for them because they're going to make you stronger.
I agree.
You're going through that for a reason. You might need to overcome something because he has something for you down the road. If you can't get past this, you're not going to be able to handle this. So
I agree.
Everybody that's listening, everyone that's looking, I know a couple of people that's going through things. I see you. Listen, what you're going through, you got to overcome it. Don't give up. Don't take the easy route out. So many people take the easy route out and go do something crazy, do something stupid, get caught up, get jammed up. Hey, take the hard route and overcome it. And I promise you that road is worth it. I remember coming out of my situation, and this was 2016, finally gave my life to Christ, like willingly. Of course, I did it when I was 14. That's because your mom said, oh, go get baptized.
Go on up to the front.
Go on up there now. Yeah, let them dip you in that water, you know. And it's like, I'm doing it because my mom said it. But I was like, I'm going to go ahead and give my life to Christ, you know. So I did that like late 2015. Finally got it right 2016 because I slid back so many times. Oh my gosh, so hard. But started working a part-time. And I was just so grateful for that part-time because I couldn't do nothing for a minute because of that little charge that I was going through. It was like 2 years. I was fighting that. Started part-time, worked hard, overcame, boom, made full-time. Overcame that job, started looking for other stuff. And I mean, here I am today. I literally got this place about 2 years ago. I literally got my life back on track, like I want to say about 2 years ago. And that's literally through trials and tribulations. So the things that I went through, they come again. But since you've already overcome it, it's like it doesn't stop you. It's like, I already been down that road, been there, done that. So if you trials, tribulations, anything you're going through, just overcome it. You're going through it for a reason. You need to overcome it so that way you can, get to bigger things in life.
I agree.
And back to fear. I also believe fear. A lot of people have fear because of other people's opinions.
That's true.
Oh, he might think that I'm soft, or he might think that and people just cower up and be like, I'm not going to do it because of that. What do you feel about that? About other people's opinions causing people to like not be themselves or not reach their full potential? Like, what would you say to the people that's going through that?
I really feel like people that speak on other people's like lies, I feel like that's one of the most disgraceful things that you can do. Like to speak on somebody's life and like to Like, you know how people be like, oh man, you judging me. You judge. Like, how I look at that word, like judging, is to put somebody in a final state.
Yeah.
This is what you are. You're never going to change. You're never going to be this. That's the way I look at you when people say that word, oh, you judging me. That's how deep I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look at it like as if somebody's telling you to right, or you doing the right thing or you doing the wrong thing in that present time. I don't look at it, oh, that's you judging that person. You talking about that. I don't look at it like that. I look at it as like when you say a thing, are you putting that person in their final state? Are you saying that this is all they can amount to? Are you saying that this is all they're ever going to be? So it's like that. That's the way I look at it. But when people, when they speak and they say things about, you know, other people's lives and they make people feel like, you know, they're not enough. Sometimes you can make a person feel like, you know, that that they don't meet the requirements, so to speak. And, you know, a lot of times when we do that, I'm not gonna lie, that can make a person, you know, run from their purpose sometimes. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I've had that, you know, certain people in my life speak certain things. Like, for instance, I had, who it was? One of my teachers in high school, like I told you, I got kicked out of the Western. One of my teachers, she told me, she was like, you ain't gonna be nothing. She told me that.
Yeah.
She, like, I mean, she really spoke down on me.
Yeah.
Not like that speaking negative to you in a frame of mind, like, I'm trying to encourage you to think about your life, do the right thing. She really was speaking down. There wasn't nobody around. She spoke clearly down on me, you know, and even, you know, classified, you'll be dead at this age and da-da-da, you know, and just to see God help me to supersede all of that, you know, and just, I think that's something too. Even when people say negative things, you can't buy into what they say. You got to look at life like a football player. You got to always be prepared for the next play. Because it's like, if I'm a wide receiver, I go out, I drop a pass. Look, we got 3 more quarters to go. You can't be focusing on that pass. You got to have you got to have a mentality to focus on the next play. Because if you sitting there, you focusing on that play that you didn't come through, bro, we going to be down 35 points. Yeah. Before you know it, get your mind back in the game. So that's the type of person that I am, and I encourage everybody to be. Focus on the next play. You may falter, or you may not be doing good here and there, and you may have the opposing team. That's how you got to look at those people that speak negative. Look at them as the opposing team. They were meant to speak negative towards you. Yeah, that's what the devil did. The devil spoke negative to Jesus the same way. He went to be tested in the wilderness. Yep. Everything he had to say to Jesus was negative. Everything was negative. Every single thing was negative.
There was some positives too, but which was negative too. I remember it was like, oh, I can give you this city.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
It's
but
like,
he was utilizing it in the frame of mind. Yeah. See, and that's what the enemy will do too. Because you know, like how they say a good lie, it has, you know, it has some truth to it too. So of course he gonna give him some truth with the lie, you know. So it's like, but everything he was saying, like for instance, even when he told him, you know, I give you this, I give you that because it has been given to me. Jesus said that like this certain power that you got, you only got that because you defeated Adam in the beginning, but you're not finna defeat me. Right. Yeah, it's mine. I come to take it. Is you crazy? Yeah. So it's like sometimes you got to realize who you are. Like what it said, like by walking in purpose. So if you realize who you are, when people speak and they say negative things towards you, it may get to you a little bit, but it won't phase you. Yeah. Trust me, in the long run, it won't phase you. So like you said, you got to go through those trials and those tribulations in order to get to be the person that you're supposed to be, in order to get to that purpose, you know? So,
and also too with that, I want to add to that, you know, Jesus said, you know, the world has persecuted me. They will persecute you. Yeah. So it ain't no running from that. You're going to get persecuted, whether you're doing right, especially when you're doing right. You're going to get persecuted for those who said, oh, you're not going to be don't you know, they're going to persecute you, but
you can run from it all you want. It's still going to happen.
It's just going to happen. It's just like, I don't really watch. I watch, but not really. But like NBA, right? Yeah. So, Bron first came in the league and was like, "Man, I want to be better than Jordan. I want to, you know, whatever." But he could not get a ring. Cleveland, like, man, I can't get a ring. I got some garbage teammates, man. I'm finna swing to the Heat, man. I'm finna come down south, man. And you know, sometimes you gotta like, you know, you gotta plan out, and you know, whatever you need to do, you gotta plan out. And you know, you should have. In my opinion, he should have stayed and got it with Cleveland. But
should have.
You know, but you know, he.
I just always look at it like, look, Wade Wade ain't need you to get it before he got it. You know what I mean? And people like, oh, but he had Shaq. Don't act like that was the form of Shaq that was with Kobe. Who was putting up 30 points a game. Like, it wasn't that Shaq. It wasn't the MVP Shaq, version. But, I believe that even the last 2 years that he was up there in Cleveland before he came to Miami, he was a 60-plus win team.
Yeah.
Back to back. So I'm like, you let Dwight Howard beat you, though.
Yeah.
You let Orlando beat you. And I'm not saying Orlando was a bad team or anything, but you let Orlando beat you. And it wasn't that many stars there. Everybody will always know from that Orlando team is Dwight Howard. And just like from the Cleveland team, we're not focused on Antoine Jameson, but you're LeBron. Mm-hmm. Don't you supposed to be a little greater than Dwight Howard? Because he got in he actually showed out on y'all. So it's like, but we was looking for you to do the 50-point thing, like MJ, So but later in his career, he got his rings.
He had what, 4 now? 3? 4.
I believe 4 now.
4, right? Yeah, 4. So
yeah, he beat my Heat to get one. But people don't like to talk about the injuries we had to the 3 main players. But it's all right. It's all right, though. It's all right.
So if you think you're going through hard times and, your plans ain't going out, think of Bron. You know what I'm saying? Think of the struggles he had to go through. And then he got his 4 rings. It took him a minute, but he got it.
Yeah, you don't need you got God on your side.
Even the greats, they got to go through trouble. You the only one going through troubles, So just overcome. Okay, all right.
I agree.
And how would one know how to find their purpose?
How would they know how to find it? But I believe
if you had to guess,
as far as my opinion, I believe that your purpose is found in God. Because I look at God as like the source. So when it's like, for instance, when you buy a product, all right, like this phone here, this phone comes in a box, it has a manual, everything. It says the company name, and they're the source.
Yeah.
So it's like if I was looking for answers on how to work this exact phone or where did it come from, it came from them. So they would know how to portray what the purpose of it is. Mm-hmm. I believe that you got to get in the Word of God. Of course. Because if you never get in the Word of God, which is your manual, and to give you the understanding of why you were created and what you were created for and what you were created to do and what's your purpose and what we should be doing. It's fine. We can live day to day, focusing on bills, paying mortgages, working jobs, trying to get a relationship, trying to get married, trying to have a kids, trying to have a white picket fence. Yeah. We can do all those things, but when you get all those things, then what? Yeah. Oh, I'm going to go help the poor. I'm going to go do this. Okay, after you did that, now what? Mm-hmm. It's always going to be something. Oh, for my church, I got to go ahead and bigger building. Mm-hmm. Okay, you got the bigger building. Now what? It's always going to be a now what, now what, now what, now what. As long as you're here. Mm-hmm. So I believe that, if your purpose, if you find it in God and if you walk in with God and by you doing that, it makes you a disciple. His disciples, he always going to give you word. He always going to speak to you and help you do the things that you need to do on a continual basis. Because sometimes it may not be just going to give to the poor. God may have you speak to this one poor man, not to give food to him. He may want you to bless him with $20. Yeah. You're like, $20? He might go do this and do that. But if God putting that on your heart for that's what you to do, he'll speak to you. You hear the Holy Spirit speak to you. Hey, he asked you for money for this and that. And I told you in my word that what he's crying out for, give to him. Because when it's you want somebody to hear you when you crying out. Mm-hmm. So it's like, damn. Yeah. Let me just go ahead and do this. So it's not like that frame of mind you want to keep. You want to keep that frame of mind like, yes, Father, no hesitation. Let me just go ahead and, you know what I mean? Because when you do those things, all you doing, you sowing seeds, you sowing seeds, you sowing seeds, you sowing seeds. And as you sowing those seeds, remember, a seed got to be watered. It got to get appropriate sunlight, this and it got to grow. Mm-hmm. And then I believe that your main purpose is what God wants us to see, that every time you do something, it's not for you to get the credit for it. It's not so much for you to get recognized for it, but it's more so that he can be seen. Mm-hmm. So it's like when we pray, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Yeah. So it's like the more that you're doing these things and you're walking in your purpose, which is in God, everything you do is going to show, it's going to show representation of what heaven looks like in the earth, as long as we continue to do it, his way, mm-hmm. whether you got whether you're a millionaire or not. You know, God gonna always utilize you for his purpose and what your purpose really is, you know?
Mm-hmm. So here's a tough one right here, right?
Go ahead.
So what about the people that believes in God, put their total faith in God, but they're not walking in their purpose? In other words, you have people that go to church, read the Bible, doing what they're supposed to do spiritually, but they're not working towards that inheritance. They're not working towards, their generation or their family. What do you have to say about, like, in that sense? Because I know a lot of people that do go to church, that do, believe in God, that do pray and give first fruits and tithes, offerings and all of that. But financially, it's just, they're in a spot that they're just unhappy. They're, they can't really provide for their kids. They can't really do anything.
I'm not gonna lie. Like me and my best friend, we had discussions about this as well. And I believe that God tell you that you can't do nothing in this house if you're not taking care of your own. So it's like, yeah, you can get the title, of youth pastor. You can get the title of, deacon, deaconess, and you can do those things. I'm not against any of those things. I'm not against the titles, but why chase a title when you're not even taking care of home like God told you to do? So it's like, you could be broke, busted, and disgusted at home, but then you can roll in church in a suit. It's true. Some people backed up on their payments for their BMW and their Benz just looking the part. And some of them, for instance, like they even go to church, they still catching the bus, with their whole family, and I'm not knocking nobody, but I just feel like you got to take care of home. So it's like, even if you work the job and you got to work 16 hours a day, or you got to work 2 jobs, just because you couldn't make it to Sunday service every single week faithfully, that doesn't disqualify you from heaven. Yeah. That doesn't disqualify you from your purpose. Because at the same time, I feel like, because God tell us something as simple as, if a man don't work, he don't eat. So I can sit there and God just so beautiful how he love us. Because we could be sitting there, we could be working this little bit of hours, right? Knowing that we should be putting a little bit of overtime in. He's like, oh, that's my son. This man over here lacking. Oh, Lord. Oh, well, not our Lord. Here's the Lord. He's like, oh, myself. Oh, my God. Oh, myself again.
Hey, son, you see this, son?
I'll just bless him with $500 to $1,000 in his mailbox. And it's like, I won't say God's showing pity on us, because he does show the pity on us. Yeah, it's like, okay, I give you the ability inside of your being in order to work, and you got this strength that you can go ahead and you can put in the work to provide for your family. But you're not going ahead putting the applications for better. You're not going ahead working the overtime, even though you could. You're not, asking your boss, hey, I understand that you give me 30 hours a week or 25 hours a week. Is it a way that I can, increase upon that, or you may not get the promotion, so to speak, or whatever like that. There may be other things you can do for passive income, as far as like, being a YouTuber, or, like for instance, creating a podcast that, you potentially, God can cause passive income to come from it. So sometimes, like, when I see people like that, they're doing all the things, you making it in the church, you doing this, you doing that, or whatever. Thank God for it. And you getting that word, but how much word you gonna get sown inside of you, and then you're not acting upon the same word? You know what I mean? Because even the disciples, listen, as much as they didn't talk about it, they still was going out there fishing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but what about when Jesus cast the net and he gave them more? No, he was just showing them that walking with him, he can cause you to get an abundance walking with him instead of doing it out of your own strength.
Exactly. So
a lot of times we do stuff out of our own strength, and we hoping and wishing to be like, maybe this man of God over here that we may be modeling our lives out there. He got the marriage, he got the car, he got the house, he got this and that. Yeah. He's not in the same predicament as you. You the one actually got to go clock in. You don't clock in. This is his profession here. So we can look at it like, a lot of people like to look at it that it's not a title and it's not a profession. It is a title. It is a profession. And it's also something that God called you to do. But at the same time, it is like you getting monetary, like you getting something from it. You getting dividends. You getting something coming in from it. So I wouldn't approve of anyone just, yeah, man, you better make it to Monday. You better make it to Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday prayer. You better make it there. And then you denying work. You denying taking care of your family. Your wife looking at you like, I'm about to go get 2 jobs, you know? And then if she going to do that, then it's making you feel bad and, I can't be the man in the house. And
well, that's a whole nother conversation right there.
That's a whole lot, you know what I mean? So I just encourage people that's like in that predicament, like work, work, take care of your house. Is your house be taken care of? God will do the rest in the other field. You can't do nothing for his house if you're not taking care of your home. You got to, because if the light's off and you're going to say, oh, praise God.
It ain't coming on.
It could. Yeah, it could. Because, they can hear about your situation and be like, dang.
We'll extend it.
Marc and David always need their lights on. And then they can be talking about you. Marc and David need their lights on all the time, man. Dang. Yeah. Give it to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and even for people, you can become, a certain cancer for their headspace, because they can come up to you too and say, hey man, how's work and how's this and that. They coming up to you because they want to know, hey man, you got to do a little bit more, outside of this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I encourage you, work. Put your hands to the plow.
I definitely agree with you, and I'll add to. So I do believe that everyone has a purpose, right? You have some very good cooks. You have some very good designers. Yeah. There's certain things that I can do that you probably can't do. There's certain things that you can do that I couldn't even dream of doing, because that's just what you were blessed with.
I agree.
Right? I do believe there is a balance, I do believe that, yes, you go to church, you believe in God. I believe that God is the God of peace. He's the God. He brings you peace. He opens doors for you. That the doors you can't open, he can open. But also too, faith without works is dead. You know what I'm saying? So if he's blessed you with the abilities to do things, you need to go ahead and do it, to provide for your family, to have inheritance, so that way, but whatever you're trying to, accomplish, but I think there definitely is a balance. And I do know a lot of people that, I pray, I fast, I worship, and nothing's happening. And it's like, well, do you think it's fair that you put in 0 applications, and then this guy over here put in 20 applications, and he gets the job, but he doesn't go to church. He doesn't pay tithes, but he's doing, it's like, you got to put in the work too.
Yeah.
God is a fair God.
That's
if you
true.
If you put in 20 applications, okay, then, you might have favor, or, whatever, but you have a better chance of doing better than just not doing it all.
Yeah, you'd be amazed. Like the children of the world, like, man, they be grinding. They be hustling. You feel me? And we be sitting there like, please, God, help me. Amen. That's how we be, and God's sitting there like, I heard you, but you still got to type. You still got to write.
Right.
You still got to move your legs. You know what I mean? Like, but the children of the world, they be hustling and bustling. Like you said, putting all the applications. And then like what you said about gifts and talents. Yeah. You can be a designer. You can do music. You may not get no money from it, but maybe, you utilizing time to operate in your gift, so to speak, or in your element, so to speak. Like, you may not get the finances that you want from them things. You may get some finances, or some people blow up and get a lot of their finances from there. Yeah. And then sometimes, or whatever, your calling could have been to be a designer for God, or to be a person that does music for God, to reconcile those things back to him, all those entertainment fields, or TV camera guy, all those things for him, for his purpose. And then it may not be for your position to be inside of the church. Some people may be the youth pastor, the deacon, or the pastor, or all these positions. But if you become a producer, a music producer for God, and then you helping a lot of other Christian artists and doing all these things, who's to say that God gonna knock you for that? You know what I mean?
Exactly what I was finna say. Your gifts can put you through doors. Man, you can save lives. There's people out there that you can't touch unless you have to be somebody or something, and you have that presence of God, and you have the Holy Spirit in you. And you, like I said, you can save lives. That person that was gonna commit suicide, You prevented that because you got to that level. It ain't got to be about the finances, but you went through the right doors because of your gifts, and you was able to, use use the Holy Spirit, or let the Holy Spirit use you to speak to this person. And it's like, wow, I never met nobody like you. Oh man, you saved my life. Thank you so much. You encouraged me, or whatever. So it's just so many ways, so many things. But but there is a balance. Go to church, but don't be praying. And I'm talking to I hear a lot. Listen. I'm talking to the ones that's praying for finances, but you're not doing the work. Put the work behind it. Put the work behind it. Hey, if you music producer, rapper, whatever, start doing it.
It's a balance.
I'm not making no money off of this. I do it just because I like to do it. I'm not making no money off of it. Actually, I'm doing this because I've been through those struggles. This podcast honestly was created to help those who's in situations, feel that they can't get out. They go into prison for 10 years or whatever. This is to uplift the people. This is literally what this podcast is. And I don't care if it don't get 1 million views or whatever. At least if I can help one soul, if I can help whoever, I don't got to know about it. I don't even care about it. Because I've been there, done that. If I can help you, man, listen, I don't even want, man, give praise to God. Like, hey, I'm just doing this just to do it, And same with the music, my music is it's to help people out. It's too. There's a little bit of people in this world that have money, and a lot of this world that don't have money. It's just the balance is just bloom, and it's just this is why I do it, really. But do you think there's power in testimonies?
Of course, there's power in testimonies. Like, that's part of the reason too, that when you hear certain people's testimonies, it kind of sparks that belief, in God. It sparks that belief in Jesus. Maybe this guy got, maybe this guy has the right idea. It started off like that, but I believe that everything that motivates somebody to follow something, is all because of testimony. When you buy a product off Amazon, you go to reviews. Why? Because you want to hear the testimonies. This product sounds good. Nah, I don't know now. They done said 2 negative things. But then you done read 40 positive things. So it's like, that's the same way coming to God. That's the same way giving your life to Christ, so that you can be, reconciled back to the Father, to the Heavenly Father. Like, you're going to have many people that come saying negative things, but you're going to have a whole lot of positive too.
Yeah.
Why is it 1 million people over here worshiping, or 1 million people doing this, or 1 million people thanking God? Why is it these 100 people over here talking about ain't no God?
Yeah,
it ain't this and that. That's your hands that did this. You woke yourself up, and you're like, you can be confused by it all that you want. But like I said, remember, back to the source. Everybody was created from something,
of course,
and so everybody has a master. This phone is Samsung. Samsung is his master.
Yeah.
And so it's like, your only way of knowing who you are, what you're supposed to be, and what you were created for, you got to get back to the source. So he's the source. And a lot of people got a lot of negative things to say about the source. But there's a lot of positive things to it too.
Some of the negatives, there's so many wars going on in the world. And where's the God that...
See, but, and then that's a whole nother topic, because they don't understand that we the ones that brought that into the world.
We created.
Because he gave us a certain command what to do. We disobeyed, and sin came into the earth.
Just like, we were first created to, bite that fruit. And,
it's an amazing analogy I always use with people. I always tell them, I said, when you think about that with Adam and Eve, right? I said that, for instance, Eve, she was talking to the serpent, this and that. The husband was right there. He didn't hear nothing. And then she bit the fruit, turned around. It says she turned. So he was right there. She turned to him, and he bit the fruit as well, right? And so that's when, God came down looking for them and everything like that. So this analogy I always tell people, as far as like when you think about Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, you know what I mean? In order for Muhammad Ali to become the champion, or let's say when Muhammad Ali had the belt, in order for Joe Frazier to become the champion, you got to knock out the champion.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that. Look at who the devil was in the beginning. And in the end, they refer to him as a dragon, but you look at it in the beginning, it was just a serpent.
A serpent, yeah.
Just with a manipulating tongue. That was it. A deceiving tongue. And it's like when he deceived, the woman in order for her to deceive the husband in order for him to bite the fruit. That was like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. He done knocked out the champ. So that's why you get into later on when you say all these things I can get to you, Jesus. When Satan was saying that, all these things I can get to you, for it has been given to me.
Yeah.
He knocked out the heavyweight champion of the world. The heavyweight champion at the time was Adam. He knocked out Adam.
Yeah.
And that one stance and that one little battle right there, he knocked out Adam. And that's why you see in the Bible, he's entitled God of this world. Lowercase G, God of this world. Because that lowercase G, God of this world was Adam at first. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't even understand that. You feel me? So I be looking at that situation. I like, man, just the same way. I mean, you can't let the devil knock you from certain things that you're supposed to be. Because I believe that before you and God, just being a son of God, that's a great title in itself. Yeah. And of course, he want to knock you off that high horse or whatever of not being that anymore to make you think otherwise. Of course, Yeah,
he tried Jesus himself. Who are you? You gonna get tried the most.
Exactly.
All right, so there's power. Of course, there's power in testimony. Do you want to share one of your testimonies?
I could keep it brief. Well, as far as like me, I was a, kid, like I said, growing up in the hood,
Hey, hold on. I don't want to get you in trouble with your hospital job now,
Man, please.
Just kidding.
They'll be all right. They might be blessed from this too, I was a kid primarily growing up in the hood, Liberty City. And I would say that, me struggling with purpose, just having a mom that worked like 2-3 jobs, was, a lot of times barely home. And basically, we at home, like kind of like me and my brothers, like raising ourselves. And my dad, for whatever reason, he wasn't there. And I struggled with not understanding why he wasn't there. And just, I felt like, if he was in my life, things would be much better. I'd be playing football professionally right now. I'd be doing this, I'd be doing, all those. I felt like a lot of unmet expectations in my life, was because, my dad wasn't there and, and stuff like that. But just growing up, I was getting in all type of like trouble, skipping school, getting in fights almost every week in school. I was having bad grades, F's, D's, like, thank God for my son now, with all these A's and I'm like, he is not me, Yeah. And I see the little, character. Sometimes he do certain things. I'm like, boy, that's me, but you don't get a report card like I get, like I used to get and stuff. And so I wasn't that kid who had the best report cards, the best progress reports coming home, the best reports by my peers and by teachers. And I was always looked down upon. And I was always like the overlooked one in the family. My mom always said that, oh, I just don't think you be getting a lot of stuff that I say. Or and I was the one that was looked down upon, a lot. And that's primarily what I used to do. I used to look down upon myself. And I had a point in time in my life where as like when I got close to being a senior in high school and I was about to drop out for music, I ran into certain producers professionally, certain artists that's big time right now and stuff. And I was like, sure, I'm in the studio. And I was like, boy, it's about to happen. I was doing music for the wrong reasons. Yeah. I was like, boy, it's about to happen. Boy, this thing about to go down. And, I had a lot of stuff started happening. Like, my best friend ended up locked up. I end up like, doing bad on like a lot of tests like that I had about to be kicked out of school and all that stuff. My mom she started letting me go to the studio and all this. And I was like, oh man, I just ain't got no back to purpose. I was like, man, I ain't gonna never get to do what I supposed to do. And so with struggling with that, I didn't know. And I had a time in my life, like, which I didn't know what it was, facing heavy depression and anxiety. And I wanted to actually like take my life. You know what I mean? And which I used to cut myself. And I got these tattoos here that says forgiven by grace. And both of them got like the forgiven part is 1 John. I believe it's 1 John 1:9. And then here by grace is Ephesians 2:8-9. And I primarily got those, to remind myself that it's okay to forgive yourself and how you judge yourself and how hard you was, upon yourself. And you don't have to look at yourself that way. And it's funny that when I wanted, which I had a knife, and I was sitting in my closet, and I was finna, excuse me, and I was actually finna end my life. And my best friend at the time, in the nick of time, as soon as I was laid the blade to my skin, he came and knocked on my window.
Wow.
Hey Dave, man, you in there? He just kept knocking like, and it was like an irritating like knocking, like just nonstop, just kept going. You know, you just knock on somebody. Oh well, they ain't home. Yeah. He just kept going. I was like, oh my God, and I knew that was God saving me.
Yeah.
And primarily, like when that happened, because I was speaking to God before I did it. I was like, God, if I got any purpose, if you got anything you want to tell me or any direction for my life you have for me, show me. If you love me so much, show me. I was, basically people would call it testing, but I wasn't testing him. I was from my heart. I was speaking to him, and a situation happened, man.
Wow.
I never forget it. And I was just like, dang, like God really showed himself to me in that moment. He didn't have to show himself in physical presence or form. Yeah. I'm not saying everybody got to have somebody come knock on their window or their door or to come to them in physical form. But sometimes he can speak to you like with a still, quiet voice.
Yeah.
And just for that moment and what I was going through, maybe that's what God wanted to do and how he wanted to reveal himself to me. I believe he revealed himself to each and every person, like, that way. So that's my testimony. I was a person like, struggling with purpose. I didn't know how to identify who I was in life, who I was supposed to be, what I was supposed to be doing, any of that stuff. I didn't think I was worth even being here.
Yeah.
And just, my kids, they'll probably hear that later on down the road as they grow up. But thank God I didn't, because they wouldn't even be here, and then also too, like just being that person that was overlooked in the family, this and that. Mostly everybody look up to me now. Everybody depend on me now. Everybody look at me as, to speak this or to say this or, it's just all these positive things like now that I am for them now.
Mm.
And it's like I wasn't at that time, and of course I couldn't see it. And sometimes when you can't see something, you can approach life with a blindfold. Because you don't know the future, so to speak. And I think that's a lot of times like we focus on the future too much, and we don't live in the present, and we don't thank God for the past. We can try to fast forward our life. Trying to do, and that's what I was trying to do, fast forward my life. I understand that we supposed to die. Let me just go ahead and speed it up. So that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to go ahead and speed it up. Just like, hey, we here. That's what they say, right? We here to live and die. Yeah. So that's primarily was what was in my head, but that wasn't the purpose that God had for me. And I don't believe that's the purpose that he had for anybody.
Yeah.
But I believe, just like we was talking about the devil, that was what he preached to me, that was my purpose, in which it wasn't. And God revealed that to me. Yeah.
Well, man, look at you now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Good shape, you know what I'm saying? You're a good speaker, your music is good, man. Look like, bro, like I'm pretty sure a lot of people look up to you. Even the people that you don't know, they're probably like, man.
I believe it. I believe it, man.
So that's good.
Like I was telling you about the young lady from TikTok, like just out of nowhere, man.
Wow, man.
And then it's crazy. I was on that video too. I was talking about suicide, and I was just telling people, if you had those thoughts and stuff, you value. I care about you. I love you. Nobody else ain't got to tell you. I'm telling you, I do. I may not even know you from a can of paint, but I love you. You may be struggling with, you want to end it all, but don't focus on something that's eternal decision. That's an eternal decision, for your present circumstances right now. You're going through something that's temporary. Don't make an eternal decision like that, and girl reached out to me with all this stuff, whatever, talking about she going through this and that, and I just encouraged her. And I even told her, I said, likewise, I face those thoughts too.
Yeah.
And I said, I may not be facing it now, but I just said, keep me in prayer too. And you want to encourage people to pray, for you too, because, the more that we pray for other people, God answer us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a good thing.
Yeah. So I mean, my testimony very, very short. So I had a huge problem with alcohol. I was a young alkie. I started, I was 19, started seldom, and then as time going on, it just increased.
Mm.
You know, it just increased. And the root of that, of course, you know, depression. I didn't know purpose. I didn't love myself. I remember I used to be a correction officer. This was back from 2005 to like 2008. I remember showing up to work drunk, and this nurse guy, he was there. He was like, "Yo, come here." He was like, "How old are you?" I'm like, "I'm 20." Why? He was like, "Well, every day I come in here, man, you smell like a bar. Like, you okay?" I'm like, well, mind your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't you got a job to do, right? You got to get them their medicine, right? Like, I don't need you preaching to me. He was like, "Listen, I've been down that road. You're going to lose a lot of things. I'm just bold enough to tell you, just, you know, probably need to stop." Of course, I didn't listen. I furthered my career, started working for county. I lost that job from drinking. And 90% of my jobs after that, I lost it from drinking. You know what I'm saying? Got my charges from drinking. So it just spiraled out of control. And I remember one day I woke up, I was in my dad's room. I had no carpet. It was just concrete on the floor. I hated that room. No offense, Pops, but boy, I hated that room, boy, you know. So I'm there and I'm just like, and I'm about to get married. I'm like, oh Lord, man, I need your help. I know I ain't come to you in years, man. Man, I'm about to get married. I don't have nothing to my name. Like, what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? And this commercial came on. It was an insurance commercial and had the white picket fence, the nice family, the dog. And I'm like, oh man, I want that. That'll be nice instead of this room, you know. And I promised God, I heard the Holy Spirit. I promised God, he was like, "You want that?" I'm like, "I want that." It's like, "You got to stop drinking."
Wow, plain as day.
Sounds simple, but of course, what's the root of the drinking? Like, what's the root of? So I had a lot of things to correct. It wasn't just stop drinking. I had to correct a lot of things, but you know, God, he speaks very simple. It's very, not simple, but very short, but it's very deep. So I'm like, okay. And gave my life to Christ. But of course, kept going back to that last time. I'm like, all right, that's it. Stop drinking, and I started correcting the things that I needed to correct. Used to go to church a lot, and I used to hear a lot about being the priest of your house. Gotta be the priest of your house. Gotta be the priest of your house. You can't rely. The woman is not to lead the household. The man is to lead the household. You have to be the priest. You have to set the foundation. So when you have kids, you have to set the foundation. It's now you have to set the foundation. And it took me a minute to get it right to become the priest of the house. It's tough because it's like everything falls on you. Yeah. Everything falls on you. You can't complain. You can't, oh man, this is hard. I had to suck it up, and I followed his word, you know, and here I am today. And I just thank God that, you know, he took alcohol away. I didn't have to go to no counseling or nothing like that. It was cool. It just stopped. And I tell people this testimony, even the guys at my job or whatever. So we having a boat party. I work for insurance, I sell insurance, by the way. So we having a boat party coming up December. And we've had for the past 2 years now. And every time I'm on a boat, everybody's drinking, smoking weed, drinking. I'm just chilling with the water. I'm just vibing. Everybody like, man, you're strong, man. How you, bro, you don't want to drink? I'm like, nah, bro, like, I'm good. Like facing those times, like every time I see the drink, I just think of those times. I'm like, well, that just gives me the strength to not do it because I just want better. I don't want to go back, you know? So that's my little testimony there. So, and for everyone that heard the testimony, his testimony, my testimony, I do testimonies on here too. So that way, if you're going through these situations, there's always a way out. If you're dealing with alcohol, alcoholic or whatever, it's always a way out. It's always a way out. If you're dealing with depression, suicidal thoughts, it's always a way out. You, like you say, you are loved. We do love you. There's people that you don't think that love you, but they do. They might not tell you. And I know how it is that, you know, living day to day, you don't hear those, oh, I love you, man, or hey, I love you, mama, or I love you. You know, you don't hear those words, and they could be discouraging, it could be depressing, but a lot of people love you, even though they don't tell you, but they do. And it'll be a shame to leave early, you know?
True.
So.
Got purpose. You got purpose to live out.
Got purpose. And last thing, what advice would you give to people during this crazy pandemic?
Sure.
Matter of fact, what you think about this pandemic? What everything that's going on now with it, like with the whole vaccination. Matter of fact, did you get the vaccine? Actually, I shouldn't ask that because that's like a political.
Yeah, it is political, but at the same time, I don't mind answering.
All right, cool.
I can give my reasons for why I didn't. Like me, for instance, I didn't because, like, you know, when this whole thing started, like, you know, I'm not saying I was in any disbelief or anything like that, and it does attack a lot of people with underlying issues, and I know certain individuals who family members have died, you know, as a result of COVID. But I just know, like, for instance, like when it started going on, they started doing homeschooling and all this stuff. I was homeschooling my kids, and, you know, they were perfectly fine. And, you know, now fast forward, they saying that, oh, you need to get the shot. And it's like, okay, you go ahead, you're getting the shot. Like, and they saying that it's for to help your neighbor or help this person. But it's like, okay, you get the shot, you can still get it. But now they're saying that, oh, it's to help you so that the symptoms of it won't be as strong. So I'm like, okay, are you mandating for people to get it, or you're encouraging people to get it so that they can help other people or help themselves? Now, it's understandable if you said it to help themselves, because I haven't seen yet a result of people getting shots and then they can't get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's kind of funny, like just the message that they preach behind it. You got people that's losing their bread and butter, you know, losing their jobs and stuff like that as a result of this thing. And these companies that's giving it out, like, you know, Moderna, Pfizer, you know, all these people, they're making millions, like almost $1 billion. I would say probably billions that they're making off of this. And I'm like, okay, you making all of that off of this, but then you, at the same time, you got people that need food in the refrigerator. And then because of inflation, you got prices going up. They can die from starvation. But you're not worrying about that.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people that don't work out and go to the gym like me and my best friend do.
Yeah.
Or that work out at home. You got a lot of people dying of obesity. You got a lot of people that's, you know, dying from diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
What about those people?
Mm-hmm. So
the shot is just that much of importance that we're just going to drop everything else. We're going to drop the fact that, you're not going to tell people about healthy eating habits. You're not going to teach them about keeping their immune system up. You're not going to, teach them about the benefits of, like, for instance, not drinking and stuff. Because all the people I know, they've been partying it up in this pandemic time. They've been buying cases and having house parties and all type of stuff. So I'm like, none of them got COVID, but they show, got their head spinning around. Yeah. And running red lights and getting arrested and, from being drunk and stuff, but it's like, I don't knock anybody that go and get the shot or whatever. And then also too, I'm not against anybody that don't want to get it, but it's like at the same time, it's like, I feel like that's something that they should have gave like a little longer period, in order to test the results. Cause now they say, now it's another variant out there. Yeah. And one of the companies say, give me 100 days. I come up with this. I'm like, what? You just need 100 days just to come up with something? Yeah. How you know exactly you need 100 days? Yeah. But before you needed a year or two, so I'm like, it's like weird. Like they're making, just unrealistic timelines, and it's just something everywhere, and they still got concerts going on. Yeah. You still letting concerts going. You still letting clubs going. You still letting bars going. You still letting all these things going. But you trying to say that if we get the shot, now we can do these things. It's perfectly fine. No one's going to get it anymore.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of if you're looking for a car and you pull up to the spot and it says 0 credit, no problem, and it's like, what? That sounds too good to be true. Mm-hmm. What's the back end? Like, what's my monthlies? What am I paying you up front? Because you got to throw that in, with the
$569 a month watch.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, or even more. And it's like, so they're definitely making money off of it. Yeah. And anything they somehow, it's good, and they're just like they're giving it. Nothing is given. Nothing is given like that.
Not in America.
Not like that. Not like, here, just sure. It's now to the point it's the signs. They got the 2 pictures. It's got vaccinated, and they got the healthy person there smiling. They got unvaccinated person in ICU. You never seen those signs yet?
Yeah, trust me, I say it all the time.
I'm like,
but they don't. But I believe that probably a lot of people they maybe they like under a certain. I don't know, maybe it's something they signed as far as like, something they can't speak on as far as saying those that are vaccinated and losing their lives.
Yeah.
Because those numbers we don't hear. We'll hear about it sometimes on the news, this and that. You'll hear certain stars saying, I was vaccinated. I still got it. And then the people like, I encourage you to take the shot because I didn't face really that much symptoms. Well, there's a lot of people that didn't take the shot and they didn't face any symptoms at all too.
Yeah.
It just went in their system and it just jumped back out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I said, I'm not discouraging nobody from getting it.
Yeah.
Or not getting it,
Like I say, don't judge me. I don't judge you. I'm not going to judge anyway, but I'm not getting the shot. And I caught COVID, by the way, back like in early February or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't that bad. The symptoms were, at least I can speak for myself and my wife. It wasn't that bad. It was like 3 days, like a regular cold, and then it went away,
But I think one thing in this time, what I don't like is that now we're facing a time where people don't even know what a common cold looks like. What regular headaches look like, what allergies are. Me, I got allergies.
Yeah, me too.
My son's the same allergies. We wake up every morning, we got to sneeze. I work overnight. So when it hits morning time, I have to sneeze.
Yeah.
And so did you get that shot? They do me like that. I'm like, man, trust me, it ain't that. Trust me. I say, man, look, take my little allergy medicine. I'm back.
It'd be like, you in the elevator.
Yeah.
And the person look at you. I already took my Benadryl already. It's allergies.
Yeah, they're looking at you like a germ. Like, oh, he is the virus.
Right? Just chill.
Like, nah, but it is something I feel like as far as like that people need to take into account more so staying home.
Yeah.
But as you can see, a lot of people don't like to be home.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like to stay home because home brings out a lot of problems.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean?
That's true.
So they feel trapped.
Yeah.
They got to get out there. So look, give me that, so I can get out of there, so I can go take a flight.
Yeah.
So I got to be flued out.
Yeah.
They want to do all that stuff.
Yeah. All right, man. So we almost to the end. So I have a end game. I call it pick one first thought.
Go ahead.
Right? So it's just a series, and it's usually 10 questions. But like I say, by looking at your IG, you look like you're real sharp. So I threw an extra 5 on.
Yeah, sharp, fun.
Yeah, So you got 1 second. Right, so it's literally a 2. You pick one. It's
okay.
It's 2 answers. You just pick one.
All right.
All right. So, flight or superhuman strength?
Flight.
Driving yourself or chauffeured?
Drive myself.
When it comes to cleaning, sweeping or mopping?
Mopping.
Phone call or text?
Phone call.
Cardio or weights?
Weights.
Big party or small gatherings?
Both.
So what's worse for you, laundry or dishes?
Dishes.
Online shopping or shopping in the store?
Online shopping.
Save or spend as far as money?
Oh, spend. I'm a shopper. Sorry, I'm a shopper. I'm guilty.
Ocean or mountains?
Oh, man, I never seen mountains, but that's my dream. So mountains. Colorado, I'm coming.
City or countryside?
Oh, city. My family from the country. I can't do that. Big bugs.
Working alone or working in a team?
Working with a team.
Movie at home or movie at a theater?
Movie at home.
Winter or summer?
Winter.
Mac or PC?
PC.
PC? Okay.
You can do a whole lot.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Mac like to lock up a lot of things.
Well, man, that is the episode. And hey, I really appreciate you coming on. I know you live up in Broward,
It's all good, man. It's all good. It felt like 5 minutes getting here, man, because it's worth it, man.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate it, man. And
I appreciate you, man. I'm humbled by the opportunity, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much, brother.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
I forgot you was over there. I love the sound.